I'm working on a new large-scale game, and so far it's been through roughly 1 million iterations. Working title is Ghost Town. The idea was originally that you would traverse this town, and throughout the story you'd figure out that you were being like haunted by your past. Once I realized that was just Silent Hill 2, I decided a different route. It was originally going to be a horror-based platform puzzle game, but while making my last video I realized I don't like horror games, so I just changed it to a platformer where you play as the Grim Reaper, which I got really concerned because that game does exist already. But I read a synopsis of that game, and it's quite different. Being that it was going to be something different, I just yoinked a few assets out of here and started anew. Being that this is now just like a straight up platformer, everything has to feel fantastic. When it's a horror game, I could get away with a lot of the clunkiness, but with a platformer, you cannot. Here I'm trying to get a wall slide down, and I kind of messed it all up. Essentially what I wanted was when he was touching a wall, he would fall a lot slower than his regular fall rate. One thing I'd completely forgotten until after doing all of this is that I'd actually made a really good feeling platformer character a long time ago. Everything like feels great, and it's actually pretty sick to play. I think I'm gonna actually have to return to this another time because it's a lot of fun. Alright, enough of that. Back to Ghost Town. I got the wall jump going, and I was really just like hating this game. Like, I love the idea, but there was just something that was killing me about this. And so I stripped it of like all of its art and tried to find the fun just like within its base mechanics. After a while of doing this, I went back to the literal drawing board and decided to work on the art again. I drew this guy out in Adobe Fresco, and the reason it's all pixelated is because I did it at 128 by 128 like kind of grid, just so it'd be easier to bring it into Construct and, you know, make a pixel art character out of him. What I didn't account for was how much like anti-aliasing was going on, so I probably would have just been better off just drawing it like in Construct. I got him into the game, and I still just like was not having any fun. I was not enjoying this. It felt bad and it looked bad, so I started anew yet again. This is the third iteration in this video alone, but again, I started this game like a year or so ago, just kept running into like roadblock after roadblock. Made quite a few animations for this little guy and kind of just messed around with him in the game. But there just kept being something that was telling me like this is bad and I should stop making this game. But I'd already drawn this cool little picture and I didn't want to give up on it. So I brought the original guy back in, made him a little friend over there. And I finally got the game looking and feeling pretty much how I wanted it to originally. I love the landing animation. I really like the one where he's like up against the wall, is jumping and falling. It feels very expressive. I got a wall jump working for like the third or fourth time for this, and I guess while he's having the time of his life, I'll explain kind of what's going on here. So a lot of people die. It's a pretty common thing, and the Grim Reaper comes and reaps their souls or what have you. I'm not really sure what his job is, but in this game, his job is to rid them of their worries before they pass. So each person that passed has their own world. You go through some levels within the world, and then you fight their final boss, which is like their biggest concern at the time of passing. Here are some manifestations of worry some people have. So now I'm feeling real good about this game. The Reaper has gotten rid of some of my worries, and I'm coming up with some ideas, like how he can slide down the wall and hit at the same time. That wasn't really on purpose, but it's cool, so I'll definitely have to incorporate that. Then I added in a really cool feature, a dash, which I think is sick. I guess another thing I forgot to mention is that this game is like heavily inspired by Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, which is, in my opinion, the best game that was ever made. I added some effects to the dash. I just think it looks cool. And then I want it to where when you dash through an enemy, it kills them, which that seems like it's pretty simple, but for whatever reason, the way I've got this set up is that like when he's dashing, he's going too fast for the game to like detect a collision. Oh yeah, I also got back on my computer because even though I'm mainly making this game on my phone, I actually want it to be a computer game. There's just a lot more that I could do with it, giving like more control with keyboard and mouse than I can just like slapping stuff on the screen. So I kept trying out some ideas to get this to work. It worked there, but it's like a fluke that it worked. However, I did come up with an idea that while he was dashing, he would create these blocks, kind of like, so with the scythe, whenever he swings the scythe, it creates this little block that is actually what destroys the enemy. And so the thought is, when he's dashing, like as he's dashing, it'll create those blocks all along his trail, and those can destroy an enemy. I also had this fun idea to turn them into solids, which it was actually pretty cool. So that's not going in this game, but that is a fun concept I'm gonna have to mess with later. So I got the concept in the game, and hot diggity dog, it worked like a charm. So that is the current state of the game. Right now it is pretty fun. I like the way it looks. Well, not everything. I like the way he looks. I like the way the dash looks. I like his animations and whatnot. And yeah, the most important thing, it's fun to play. And I believe as I continue to build upon these concepts, it'll be more and more fun. Bye.